Ladies and gentlemen, back from a little 2-week hiatus from watching all of the winning that the Raiders have been doing lately. It is me, Phil Robb, him, Phil Jones. We are the Unfiltered Truth. Today we had a show for you, bringing up combining the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to tap in with Levi. All that and more on the Unfiltered Truth. Let's get it cracking. Jones, it has been a minute. The people have missed you. Some people have had crazy things to say. Others have just simply missed your smiling face and wonderful Sterling Raider optimism. How the hell have you been, Jones?
I've been better. Not sick. Sick for a minute. Doctor said I'm back to 100%. Hope to stay that way. And, the best thing was to see Josh Jacobs' 86-yard run for overtime. A game winner. God, man, that put a smile on my face, brother.
I didn't know he had it in him. And we'll get into that a little bit more with Levi in just a moment. But for now, I want to take this opportunity and just gather all of Raider Nation together to give Bo Jackson a happy birthday, happy 60th birthday, I believe.
Yes, it is.
So we will all wish Bo Jackson a happy birthday. I don't need to hear y'all sing, but we'll sing together in spirit.
Bo.
Happy birthday, Bo. And without further ado, the Raiders digital reporter, Mr. Levi Edwards. Levi, what's up, brother?
How you doing, Phil? Good to see you guys again. Of course, me being from Bama, I can't go without also wishing Bo Jackson, the greatest athlete in the state of Alabama history, happy birthday.
He is the best. Thank you for signing my book and giving me your autograph, Bo Jackson, when I was beating fools' ass in middle school. Thank you.
Way back when I was 12. But moving right along, it has been a couple weeks since we have had the honor of your presence. When we last spoke, we were trying to make sense of some ugly, ugly play. And since then, we have seen what appears to be our beloved Raiders turning the corner, executing in critical situations and circumstances. Josh Jacobs. My God. Josh Jacobs. And the defense has gone back to getting its stops in pivotal situations. It may not be where we want it to be in terms of points and yards, but when they absolutely have to get off the field to get the ball back to the offense, they've shown to be capable of that. Mr. Edwards, please, the floor is yours.
Well, first, obviously, I have seen Josh a couple of times this week, and I'm going out of my way not to call him Josh. This week, his name is Him or Himothy. So throughout the duration of this podcast, I'm just going to refer to him as Mr. Himothy Jacobs. 303 total scrimmage yards, 229 rushing yards, including the 86-yarder to win the game. Not to mention his 74 receiving yards with the insane one-handed catch that he had on the sideline. and he kind of like bobbled it in and was able to, take full force. Like, man, kudos to that man because he did it on a strained calf. They still nursing. He's as tough as they come. If it was me, it wouldn't have happened. So thank God it was not me, and it was Mr. Timothy Jacobs himself who was able to do what he did. And honestly, one of, if not the greatest, when I think about like the greatest performances I've seen since I've covered this team, I would say my top 3 performances I've seen was Max Crosby last year against the Chargers in that game to get to the playoffs. Devontae week 1 in his first game as a Raider, and now this game with Josh Jacobs. Definitely top 3 performances, maybe top 1 performances I've seen from a Raider since I've covered this team.
No, on the ground, that's been the best Raider performance I want to say since Darren McFadden against Denver.
Yeah, definitely that game.
That's been the absolute best. I mean, I look at Josh and over the course of the season in press conferences, Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler have all glowed about this man and how he's come in. He's completely bought in. He's doing everything that they've asked him to do. He's approaching it like a true professional. He's leading his teammates. He's being an example, and now he's leading the league in rushing. He's been healthy. You said he's got a strained calf and still went out there and put 303 yards on 39 total touches across the deck. He has taken his game and raised it about 5 levels. I mean, you like to say he took it to the next level, but I mean, this last month has just been.
He's just going out and he wants to earn respect. He wants to earn the respect of his teammates, his coaches, us 3, the media, if you want the media.
Right.
He wants all of our respect, and he's been getting it just with the way he's played, the passion, the energy that he plays with, and it's not anything brand new. Since I've been covering this team and since I've been even watching him perform at Alabama, he's been this kind of running back. So it's not anything brand new. He's always been very good. We're just starting to see really the whole package come together of him as, a player, not just a running back, as a football player, with him blocking, with him, being a receiver, with him making certain cuts, getting through holes and gaps that his offensive linemen are setting him up through, which, by the way, credit to the offensive line because they have been on one. This offensive line that all of us were questionable about, we did not know what this was going to look like. And, despite, a couple of, bender break moments, this offensive line has led Josh Jacobs to be the leader in rushing yards this season right now. And they kept Derek Carr's jersey, I might add, very, very clean against the Seahawks. And that, honestly, I would definitely go on record and say that was the best performance that I've seen from that offensive line this season, just with the level of the intensity they played with, the amount of time Derek had in the pocket just to chill and make throws, down the wire. I really like what I've just seen from them, together because, Josh, if he was on here with us, he'd be the first person to say, like, look, I can't do what I do if it's not for the 5 or 6 people in front of me making plays, blocking for me. So I got to give them credit.
So sticking with the O-line for a second, to me, Andre James is a guy who everybody just was standing in the line to just pull their pants down and crap on like he was a porta potty. But if you go back to this season and you look at how the line was performing when he was injured with that concussion versus what they've been able to do since he's gotten back, they're top 13, top 15 in terms of pocket time and time to throw. They're leading the league in terms of Josh Jacobs is leading the league in terms of rushing yards, and up there he's averaging 5.4 yards per carry, which is up near the top as well. I think is top 5. And they're completely getting it done, and they don't get a lot of credit. They're usually one of the first units to take the blame when something's not going right on what they can and can't do. And to me, it's been a what's the word I'm looking for? They just don't get the credit that they deserve. So I'm glad that you brought that up. You said something about that.
No, most definitely. Andre James, I would say from the second half of last season to now, he's been one of the most underrated centers in the NFL. And, he definitely deserves a lot more credit for the way he plays, especially considering that he had never played a snap at center before he even was signed to the Raiders in 2019 as an undrafted guy. So he's come in and he's really dived into this, and he's made it his craft. He's a good guy having the locker room, and you can just tell that he's becoming really comfortable with Derek. A lot of people were questioning, okay, well, you get rid of Rodney Hudson. Rodney Hudson's, Pro Bowl guy, and now you're going to start this dude. But I knew that it wasn't without reason. And Andre James is definitely been proving the reason why he was made the starting center. And I've really loved seeing how he's progressed from the second half of last season to now. He's just really started to come into his own. And he's really a true leader of that offensive line along with Colton Miller.
You got something for him, Phil?
No, definitely. I mean, I think the few years that Andre James was under Rodney Hudson, that really helped a lot. We gave a lot of we gave a lot of lashes to Tom Cable, but he played a big part in getting him ready to man that center for Andre James to man that center position. He was able to get this guy that played left tackle at UCLA, being able to be versatile to play inside and then slide right on the center, something he's never played before, and be able to, all right, we're going to have you do this. We need you to learn this. We need you to learn that. And the time that he was behind Rodney Hudson, he took everything in from Hudson and Cable. So, both of them played a major impact with him being who he is right now.
Most definitely.
But overall, I'm loving what I'm seeing with the O-line. I know it's like the whole musical chairs, and hey, it happens. We got something that's working. I hope it stays that way. And if that's going to play a main success in keeping Derek Carr clean for the rest of the season, where we can have a successful offense, because we start getting guys coming back like, Waller and Hunter Renfrow, that's going to be even better.
I guess when you look at the rest of the offensive line next to Andre, outside of Colton, you just have a really underrated offensive line. What do you guys think about the way that Illuminor's been able to play the past couple of weeks, and how much do you think that's also been, a factor in these overtime wins?
The way Illuminor's been playing, it is a factor. I mean, the man was able to swing over and play the left tackle spot. I mean, but granted, he did this for New England too. He's a versatile lineman. If you need him inside, he's going to play inside for you. You're going to need him at the tackle spot, he's going to do it for you. So he's another guy we need to show some love to, because I know a lot of folks been saying, "Oh yeah, Illuminor is terrible. We can't do this, do that." Look, nothing's always going to be pretty. Okay,
definitely.
Especially with O-line, nothing's going to be pretty when it comes to O-line. They're going to win some, they're going to lose some. But Illuminor has been a reliable guy that can cover each end. And he's played a valuable part on this O-line.
And he's been very solid. He's held it down. He's had good competition. He's held his own against some really good rushers. He's had some shortcomings as well, but all in all, he's managed to keep Thayer Munford on the bench. And there was a time where I thought that Thayer Munford was going to snatch his job. He's come out. He's held down the right side and been an integral part. Like Phil said, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. It's not always going to be perfect, but they're playing together. They're making it happen. Like I said, they're 13th in pocket time at 2.8 seconds, according to Pro Football Reference. And so they're doing everything that you could ask them to do, because keep in mind, he wasn't even supposed to be the starter. Brandon Parker, that was supposed to be his job. And so what you're getting versus what you spend is cap efficiency. And I'm pleased with everybody on this line. I think the guy who's really not getting enough credit is Alex Bars. Bars was on the practice squad. Bars was a guy everybody said we need to get rid of him. Why is this guy on the team? That you don't even hear his name called during the game unless they're introducing him.
Yeah, Alex Bars is a very interesting situation just from the standpoint of, I personally, just from what I saw from him during camp and also in the preseason, he was one of those guys that I never really thought, would be on practice squad. Mm-hmm. I kind of assumed that he would be like a guy that would make the active roster, and he would, be behind Simpson, or he would be behind Cotton and, be a depth piece for the team. So I was really shocked when he didn't make the main roster, the active roster, at the beginning of the season. And so it's one of those things where, as we have all seen, this coaching staff does not give a damn where you were drafted, when you were drafted, if you win or how, or whatever prior success you've had before. If you come in and you play your heart out in practice and you show that you earn reps in the game, you will get reps in the game. And Alex Bars is a guy that was like, okay, cool, I'm on the practice squad, whatever. I'm still going to ball out in practice and show you guys you made a mistake. And so with that being said, he's kind of has grown.
Ooh. We lost him, so he's kind of grown.
I apologize for that, but yeah, he's grown into the position, got elevated, and things are looking good from there. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
All good.
So that brings us into this, and he's okay. You're in stream audio only. All right, cool.
My apologies.
No, it's all good. This offense has looked explosive. This offense has looked fantastic, and they're 1 week away, potentially 1 week away from having Darren and Hunter get back. And I've watched this, and I've been very pleased with what we've gotten out of Foster Monroe, and I like the energy that he's bringing. We got to get a little bit more consistent hands going from Foster, but in the meantime, he's come up with clutch catches when he's needed to. He secured the football, which was the big knock against him last year. And I just think I think that if he could get into his proper position as tight end too, that with Darren coming back, that this offense can take it to an even greater level. And with Darren and Hunter, they could be unstoppable.
It's definitely gonna have to be earned, because you've had a lot of injuries that have taken place, so it's kind of prevented things from going the way that everybody thought it would go. But even when all four were on the field, it definitely is a process to get all of them on the same page together, since it's so much firepower and so many, different guys that do different things. So even once those two come back, it definitely is going to take some time to make sure everybody's on the same page, and making sure everybody's still back up to speed. So they could potentially come back after this Chargers game, for the Rams on a short week. We'll see how that goes. I'm not exactly sure how that will work out, but definitely, having those two guys, it doesn't hurt your team by any means. It'll never hurt your team to have Darren Waller or Hunter Renfrow. So let's see how that goes, and let's see if they can just continue to. And that's the weird thing about these three players is that they've all got a level of chemistry with Derek Carr at like completely different times within their career, where it's, you know, Devontae and Derek already had that chemistry back in college. Derek and Waller had that chemistry kind of like in that 2019, 2020 season. And then, you know, he gets hurt last season, misses a couple of games, and then Hunter Renfrow becomes the man, and then that increases Derek's chemistry with Hunter Renfrow. So it's interesting because Derek Carr has proven to have amazing chemistry with all three of these players just at different times within his career. So it's going to be interesting to see all of them come together as one within this offense, especially with how, you know, intricate it is to succeed in this offense for Josh McDaniels. It's going to be very interesting to see how they gel all together once they're all healthy. But it will probably happen. I definitely think it can happen, especially, you know, with the momentum that the Raiders are getting right now. It'll be really fun to see what can happen once those guys get back.
All right. Well, then let's change gears and let's look at the other side of the ball. And defensively, we got some turnovers. We got some key sacks. You saw Chandler Jones has been getting to the quarterback. I think I saw about 4 or 5 plays where he actually got a hand on Geno Smith while he was still holding the ball in passing situations. He was able to fall on the fumble and recover it. And we're starting to see Chandler Jones have more of an impact. He's not quite finishing the play, but he's making his presence felt, and he's altering the way that the offense is playing. How have you felt about Chandler Jones in the last couple of weeks when they've started winning games?
Well, I think Chandler Jones is interesting. I think he's kind of been getting not the short end of the stick, but I think he's been getting a lot of criticism because he was brought in to be a guy to disrupt the quarterback. And he hasn't necessarily done that this season, but I see him still doing a lot of good things. And he's a big reason that's behind the vastly improved run defense for the Raiders this season compared to last season. So I'll always give Chandler Jones that. However, when you look at Chandler Jones and why he was brought in and what he's, you know, being paid to be with the Raiders for is to get after the quarterback, and, you know, he hasn't really fulfilled that statistic the way that people thought he should. But at the same time, he's still been able to be an effective player, and seeing him not get, you know, the sacks necessarily, but actually affecting the quarterback, you know, making sure that he is making it difficult for him to throw the ball, making it difficult for him to go through his reads, you know, making, you know, putting him on the ground, things like that. Those are things that matter. And it's been a huge reason behind the success, whether he has 0.5 sacks this season or not. He has been he's completely been a true reason as to why the Raiders have gotten these 2 wins. And when you look at Justin Herbert, obviously Justin Herbert can move. He's a mobile quarterback to a degree, and he can make, you know, any throw you ask him to make. But this is going to be, you know, once again, another one of those games where you have to get after the quarterback. And you've watched the game last year against Herbert. The reason why the Raiders were able to pull that game out is because they were able to get after him in very crucial moments of the game. Yeah. And so I believe that if Chandler Jones can just turn it up a notch, really do what he's been doing, I think that will be a huge reason as to why the Raiders win or lose this game.
You know, I agree with you right there. I mean, he can set the edge, but we need him to get to the quarterback. As we've seen the last 2 weeks, he's been able to get back there. You know, he got a fumble recovery on Sunday. I mean, we need to see more. We need to see some of the Chandler Jones that we saw in Arizona. I know you're getting up there in age, but, you know, a couple of sacks would be a big plus, especially against Herbert. Shutting him down, making him feel uncomfortable in that pocket, not just with dealing with Max, but Jones, and then, you know, also with your 2 interior guys.
Most definitely. I really like what Chandler has brought to the unit, just as a whole, from a leadership perspective, and also with his level of play. A question that I have for you guys though is, you look at Chandler and what he's doing, and you look at Max, and you damn sure know what he's doing. Something that I've noticed is the improvement of the interior defensive line, specifically guys like Kyle Pecco, Nichols, Andrew Billings, who had a great game, Jerry Tillery, who was claimed off waivers, who's about to play his former team. So I noticed a huge improvement in the interior defensive line against the Broncos and the Seahawks, and I want to ask you guys what you guys think about it.
So you gave me two questions to ask, and that was actually going to be the one that I worked to. So go ahead, Jones, and I'll save mine for last.
I'll be real. I think the addition to having Tillery inside within that rotation with him, Billings, and Nichols, and then you're able to see. I'm also going to put out there Pharrell Jr. Doing a solid job.
Mobtown.
Lee. You can't leave out Lee.
Look, Levi, Coach O, he would have got on me if I ain't bring him up.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know who would have.
But they have done a solid job, and I'm not going to leave out. I say kid's name from Tennessee. I seen him get a couple of reps in, and he's been solid as well.
MB.
The thing about it takes time. We know what kind of defense this is. We know how good it can be. I mean, it's not 100% there, but we're seeing the flashes. I think more time for it to gel. Maybe you add a few pieces going into the following season. Could be a lot better than what we're sitting with, but so far right now, these past couple of weeks, this defense has done a good job. Not amazing, not sexy, but they've done a pretty good job. It takes time to gel. And I think Chandler Jones starting to show up a little bit more, coming off that edge, that's a big plus. But really, the interior guys, Pecco, Tillery, Pharrell Jr., Nichols, and Billings, they've done a solid job.
Absolutely. So my question was going to be, where do you think the defensive tackles are in terms of their development? And so I've seen Bilal Nichols has had a couple sacks called off due to penalties. Yeah. Lately, he's been a lot more of a menace in terms of pass rush. And Andrew Billings, I was down on him, and he has done nothing but continue to get better and better. He was a space eater, but now he's starting to collapse the pocket. And more importantly, it looks like they're all working together on the defensive line. So what are your thoughts on those two gentlemen?
I think you kind of answered the question within the question, just in terms of I agree with everything that you said, Phil. Mm-hmm. I think that these are two guys that have been pretty good run stoppers this season. And the one thing that could be better, just from a statistical standpoint, is getting after the quarterback, getting sacks, getting more hits, getting more of that action going on in the backfield, especially on third down situations. And so I believe that there's just been a huge improvement, and I don't know whether it's been within coaching or if it's been within technique or whether it's just been with them getting more comfortable with certain things. I truly believe that they've just become a lot more comfortable with pass rushing as the season has progressed. And not just those two guys, but just all of the interior defensive linemen. And you kind of get to see, certain guys kind of get swapped in and swapped out for different, offenses that you're playing because, every game has like a different personnel groupings and things of that nature. So I really just believe that whatever reason it may be, they've just become a lot more comfortable at pass rushing. And Nichols is one of those guys that he came in and he was known to be a good pass rusher with the Bears. So that's not something that's very surprising. But they're just starting to become more complete players within this defense of what they're supposed to be doing. And that's, stopping the run. And you look at the game against the Seahawks, Kenneth Walker, he had 2 touchdowns for 26 yards. So you hold the starting running back, a guy that has, had a really good rookie season, you hold him to 26 yards. That's pretty good. And then on top of that, you're able to get after the quarterback. You get 3 sacks. That's really good. So you just have to continue to put those together. And I'll say this as well, despite, you look at the scoreboard and they gave up 34 points to the Seahawks, and that's not necessarily very good. But I really did truly love what I saw from the Raiders defensive line as a whole last Sunday, especially when it mattered the most, when the game was on the line, those last 2 possessions, when you need to get a stop to get the ball back and bring the game into overtime. And also after Daniel missed that field goal, and they need a field goal to win the game, and they've already crossed the 50-yard line, and you get that stop to get the ball back to set up the big time play that everybody is talking about. Really, the defensive line, if you want to talk about, clutch moments and the reason why you win games, they are the reason why the Raiders won this game.
No, for sure. And real quick before you get out of here, because I know you told me 2 and I'm stealing 3, goddammit. Denzel Perryman, what has he been like since he got out there? He's a pass coverage linebacker now, bumping rubs and catching interceptions in the middle of the field.
Me and Denzel were literally in the calf joking today about the interception because, well, for one, he was like, he was in coverage and he was like, he saw the ball coming his way and he was like, oh, wait, I got to make this catch. And so if you watch the replay, the ball kind of hits him in the face mask and it kind of rolls down to his chest. So he makes the catch and he's like, okay, well now, and he was telling me to steal his wording. What he told me is he put on horse blinders when he was running to the end zone and he got tackled. And he was pretty pissed because watching back the film, if he would have just made one little cut over, he probably would have had 6.
Yep.
But it worked out because the offense took care of it and they got the points for him anyway. So, it doesn't really matter. But he looked pretty good, and that's the thing about Denzel is, Denzel has this persona of being this really physical back, who, can stop the run and do things like that. And that's what he is. But people don't realize, like, Denzel's a pretty fast dude. Like, Denzel's not slow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he was fast going back in University of Miami.
He's a pretty fast dude. Yeah. So it's like, he's not like a slack in coverage. You feel me? Like he could, he can go and do what he does. He's about 5'11". So of course, you put him on a taller tight end, that might be, that brings its own challenges. But no, homie can cover. He's fast, and I thought he had a hell of a game against the Seahawks.
Yeah,
I did too. He makes a difference.
I think the whole thing with Perryman, I mean, it's just you go back to the past couple of years that he was dealing with, a handful of injuries. I mean, but when he's healthy, I mean, this man is a menace.
He's a Pro Bowler when he's healthy.
Yeah, when he's healthy.
He's a killer.
A hammer.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, he did catch that damn interception like he was a damn water boy. You
can see in the broadcast, the ball's coming to him, eyes just off some whoop.
No, Denzel, straight up, I would say I'm not trying to throw out names and and hurt people's feelings or do anything like that. I'm trying to stay, partial and unbiased to my job. But I definitely say Denzel Perryman is one of my top 5, maybe top 3 favorite. I'm not going to list any orders or any names of people, but Denzel Perryman, just from the sake of personality and he's without a doubt one of my favorite players in the locker room.
Oh, he has to be.
He's one of the best.
5 minutes with to just sit and talk because I'm sure it'd be pure comedy.
Denzel is one of the funniest people I've ever been around in my life. He is hilarious. No, he is.
Does he wear that beanie on his head all the time?
Denzel needs to go. He needs to stop messing around. He needs to get him a beanie deal, and he needs to get him a Hanes tank top deal. He needs to get with Michael Jordan, get him a Hanes deal real quick on some, on some tank tops, and be good.
No, I feel it. Or and I know this one last thing. It was this one coming off the bench. I had almost forgot about that. Your thoughts?
I'm gonna end it on this because Josh McDaniels was asked the exact same question in his press conference a couple of days ago. And in the words of Josh McDaniels on that play, we're the Raiders.
Enough said.
And that's all I can say about that play.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about why it, that's all I can say. I'm not going to go deeper into it, but very interesting. And I did not catch it until like way later, obviously, after the game was over. And, they all caught it when it first happened, but it's just bizarre how something like that could happen and not get called. But I'm not gonna say too much more because I'm not trying to I got time to have Roger Goodell
knocking on his door tonight.
I was about to say I don't have time for a 15K. I don't have enough. Yeah, my salary can't handle a 15K fine. They'll be like, yo, Levi, you just got this fine for the NFL for calling out the refs. And we know you can't pay it, so we just gonna fire you. I don't have time for all that. So whatever the call was,
gonna knock on your door, bro.
You know what? Let me just say this before because I'm not trying to have anybody coming at me. I thought the refs did outside of that call. I thought the refs did an amazing job in Seattle. I thought they made a lot of good calls. And they have a very difficult job, a job that I could never do. I actually have a really good friend who's in training to be a ref, and he's done a couple of college games, and he's in grad school at Ole Miss right now. I could never be a ref. It's taxing. But that's all I got for you guys.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Edwards.
Appreciate you, man.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, the Levi Edwards. Jones, that was a blast. I got to get ready for USC podcast coming up in about 6 minutes.
I'm just glad to be back on. I know I've been out for a hot minute. Shoot. And for some of you guys that we hit me up, see how I was doing. I appreciate you. I really do. I really appreciate you a lot. I feel 100% better now. I'm back at full strength. Had my physical the other day. Doctor said I'm good to go. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys.
So Reese Rock, yes, that was absolute super bullshit. But you know what? It didn't matter because the dude was a nobody, and he got put in his place by Devontae Adams, who turned around, did a spinning moonwalk on his ass to catch a pass with one hand. After that, that fool should have just went ahead and did like this to the coach and took himself out of the game because of how bogus and how much of a chump that made him look like. That was all bad. But alas, it didn't matter because we put up 40 against the Seahawks in Seattle, battled the 12s, literally had a 12th man on the field. Everything the Seahawks tried to do, they had nothing for the Raiders. The pass rush slowed down Geno Smith. They stopped him from using his legs and running around. And we'll answer this question to come out. What do I think of Carr's play in the last couple of weeks? It's been a lot more steady. He's gotten the gimmies. The wide open guys, he's hit them. They've scored. Their scoring output is increasing. Josh Jacobs is taking the pressure off of him, and will continue to take the pressure off of him and the receivers with all the running that he's been doing. The turnover, the game started off ugly, and then I did not put the interception on that he threw to Foster on him. The defender made one hell of a play. Anytime you see a linebacker drop off in coverage to go attack a tight end and punch the ball out of his hands without once turning his head to locate the football is one amazing freaking play. And yes, Foster should have held on to the ball, because when you got hands as big as his and the football in between both of them, I expect them meat hooks to hang on to the ball.
Them meat hooks.
Meat hooks. I really, honest and truthfully, thought that he had a fumble in him, especially given the way that you had seen 2 picks early. But the line held up and kept him clean, and it was good.
No, definitely. I mean, look, all I can really say is there, in my opinion, your real test is Sunday at home. You got to handle business. You lost the first time. Now this is the time where you need to secure a W, because I'm going to be real. You lose on Sunday, it's going to be difficult if you want to try to make something out of nothing.
You lose on Sunday, and you're pretty much screwed. You need to beat the Chargers, because they're one of the teams that are ahead of you.
Exactly.
And they will have swept the Raiders, and that will give them the tie-breaking edge. So even if by some chance they beat the Raiders and then lose a healthy portion of the rest of their games, it still will give them the tiebreaker over the Raiders for probably what should be the last available playoff spot.
So again, they got to come out here, take care of business. I want them to do it. I want them to be successful, pull it off.
And Vince, you're right. It was good to see Carr escape the pocket. I will say that's one of the other things that has made the difference in the last couple of weeks. He's moving in the pocket much better. He's stepping up into the pocket. And when he starts stepping up, for whatever reason, it makes his mechanics 100 times better. And the ball coming out of his hand when he's moving forward is dead on target, because when he's at the top of the drop and he's doing the happy feet hop, that ball, when he goes back to throw the ball, none of us know where it's going, including him.
No, definitely, bro.
So let me say this real quick, and I know I said on the way out a couple of times, but I'll legit end it with this and say that we've said Raider Nation has said the coach couldn't coach. We've said the quarterback couldn't quarterback. The running back couldn't run. The line couldn't block. The defense can't defend. The receivers can't catch. Waller needs to be traded. Hunter needs to be traded. The Hunter Renfro slander is that we will not do that here on this program. If you're looking for a problem on this team, the answer will never be Hunter Renfro. Okay, you point the finger at everybody else on this team. Right now, you're talking about Hunter, Devontae, Josh, and Max. It said those 4 guys are not your problem. The coach is not your problem. You look at where they are in terms of offense. For a guy who couldn't coach, this offense sure seems to be up pretty high up there in terms of the rest of the league. Has it been perfect? No. Are all his situational calls 100%? No. But a lot of these risk plays that he's had have been called at the right time. They just weren't executed. It all comes back to execution. And Waller's speed and what he does for the spacing of this offense is going to be something that you will have a very difficult time replacing if you were to get rid of him. Josh Jacobs has got to get paid. We know that. But until until we figure out what's going. We're not getting rid of Waller. That's a bad idea.
Nah, you get rid of him, it's gonna come back and bite you. I don't care how you feel.
Quick. That's going to come back quick. And yes, Vince, if Carr played consistently like he has in the past, I wouldn't say in the past 2 games, maybe the 3 touchdowns makes it look that much better. It really does. Those were 3 give-me's. I put that on the scheme because the way those guys were open was that he did, all he had to do was make sure that he got the ball there. But it's been better. It's been where they needed to. The rest of the team has picked them up. They're playing complementary football. They're making impacts on special teams. The last 2 weeks has shown you exactly what the Raiders need to do to win, and they're showing you exactly why I picked them to be the division champions. Unfortunately, they got it together a lot later than I thought it would have happened.
No. Better late than never.
Mm-hmm. Cart coming back at a discount rate. That's pretty much gonna be the only way it happens. I'm not paying him $34 million. You can get what you're getting out of him out of a rookie. Yeah, I said it. But it's what he's given you lately has been giving him cause to stay. And I'll be honest. Because if you can continue at the current rate that they're going, putting up 30, 40 points a game, then you changing your quarterback would be stupid.
I agree. Right there. The way I've seen the last couple of games with them playing with emotion and heart and then really getting it together.
Having fun.
I don't think it would be the smart thing to do. I think if you did that, I feel like you could have potential problems.
Mm-hmm. Big problems. And a team that's suddenly started executing, is having fun, and is putting points on the board is a very, very dangerous team. And the rest of the league, there's a saying, as cliche as it can be, it doesn't matter who you play, it matters when you play them. And right now, I could almost guarantee you nobody is going to want to play the Raiders.
No. Did you have anything else, bro?
That's all I got. I just wanted to thank everybody who's taken the time to watch. Those who haven't heard about the Unfiltered Truth, please leave us a like, subscribe, become a member. Just stick around. We'll be doing a lot more shows. My man Phil is back on track, and we're winning games. It's looking a lot prettier than it was. And we've got that flicker of hope. So I'm going to keep fanning it and hope it turns into a forest fire. Phil, you take us out.
Hey, well, we coming into that dusty old trail called the weekend. Y'all take care, enjoy yourself, and what that man Phil say, like and do the subscribing, all that good shit, damn, I forgot how everything went, man. Shit.